Welcome to episode 6 of the Cocktail Podcast, where I have conversation with friends over cocktails. I am today joined by the old, you're really young, my old friend, young Nick Kravec.
There it is. How's it going?
And we are drinking Canadian apples.
Yeah.
Okay. I really want to say Canadian Crown again. I was like, it's Crown Royal in it, but it's not called that. But no, as always, start it off. Describe yourself with an event.
My event's gonna be...
Don't say decathlon. I will hit you if you say decathlon.
Nah, because I listened to your other ones, and so I was trying to figure out what I should say. And I came up with rolling waves. So you're sitting on a beach, you're watching some waves.
The actual wave, or you're being hit by rolling waves?
No, the actual waves.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of ups and downs, but if you stand back and look at it, it's pretty cool.
You're really happy with yourself for that one.
Yeah, I am. It took 5 ever to figure out.
I was like, I can't really fault that. I mean, I don't know if that's you, but it's a great explanation. No, that was a good one. You went for such a good explanation as well.
I just wanted to beat Matt's.
Matt was funny because
he
was like
the track one.
Well, he literally came up with it on the spot, and I was like, oh, that's just hilarious. Like falling over and then getting back somewhere, but not quite winning the race. Which is pretty much, that's his life. But no, first off, how is it being a 5th year?
That was so much fun. I am in 3 credits, my 1 class this semester. Yeah.
Oh, because it's your last one, so if you only have to graduate, you don't need 12.
Well, I thought I needed like 6 or 9 just to be like a part-time student, but then they just put me through all this paperwork and
if you're staying for an athlete, it's the last credit you have to take. You can take as minimum as you want, I'm pretty sure.
Whatever it was.
You're in what's your class?
It's my HES capstone seminar, which is so beyond easy.
Okay.
I love it.
I thought you were going to say hard.
No.
It was either that, I was expecting like 3 1-credit courses, like the basketball, volleyball, and aerobics. Like
I didn't get to take those. I was so upset.
Well, they stopped half them after our freshman year because they stopped offering. I think they stopped offering volleyball because they used to offer everything.
Yeah.
And then our freshman year, they offered like half of them, and then they went down again. And everyone was like, "Why have they all disappeared?" Like, because I wanted to take another. They were great 1-credit courses.
It was like so much fun.
It was great, especially because I took volleyball in the spring. So towards the end of the year, we were just out playing beach for 2 hours, and that was my class. It's the best thing ever.
Now this one, so far what we've done is mostly listen to guest speakers, because 90% of my class is going to grad school or going to med school. And so learning what to do, what steps to take is great for everybody. I'm not taking those steps though, so I just kind of sit there.
Because you're not going into that field, or because?
I'm not going to grad school.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
And so I just kind of sit back and listen and...
Not pay attention?
I pay attention sometimes.
Do you actually listen?
Every once in a while.
So just normal classes?
Yeah, and so... But now we've also been learning about how to do resumes and cover letters.
You're just learning that?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's the intro to business school class, like Business 100, you do that.
Yep, I did my cover letter resume in that, and also JTC 300.
So you've done it 3 times now?
Yeah. And...
Is it better?
No, my resume was actually used as an example of what not to do. And I was a little upset. I was like, listen, I have had many jobs with this resume, and I got an A last time I did it. And
what
so she
not
actually
to
held
do?
it up middle of class, like, see how this organization isn't right? I was like, what?
I mean, there's no right way of doing a resume.
Apparently there is.
There isn't. Because some people don't have, like, their education anymore. Like, it depends where you are. Like, there is no right way to do a resume. Potentially, like, if you're a first resume, like, you put in your school because you have nothing else to put in, and then you put in, like, some classes or, like, extracurricular activity. But once you have enough jobs, it's all job-based and, like, skill-based. It's not...
Exactly. And then, so I had it broken down in different sections. So I had, like, that intro section, my job history, and then it was, like, teamwork and leadership.
Yeah. And
under teamwork and leadership, I put my track and field experience.
Yep.
And she came up to me and was like, this is in the wrong spot.
It's not.
Like,
it's in the right
why?
spot.
She's like, because track and field is an activity. I was like, that's why it's under teamwork and leadership. She's like, well, how's it teamwork and leadership? I'm like, because it's the track team.
Where there's
a
teamwork
on it. No, it's an experience.
So not even an
Yeah,
activity anymore, it's an
everything's
experience.
an experience. She's like, well, then everything should be under the experience area.
Then that's really bad organization.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll fix it. So I fixed it. Got an A on the assignment.
You just had to change that?
I guess.
That's ridiculous.
And then, so now we're doing debates in that class. And have you ever learned, so like doing a debate, you have to debate like a statement.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I mean, in general, like for political, like actual class ones, I think so, yes.
Okay. Well, she gave us all questions to debate. And you had to be in favor or against. You can't be in favor or against a question. That don't make any sense.
The answer you can, or if you change it to be a statement like, I believe this to be true, or is this true?
Exactly.
Like, I believe this to be true is a statement.
So my question was, does strength training improve dexterity or just strength?
Are you for or against that?
I had to be in favor for it. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, my group and the against group are both very confused of what we're in favor of and what we're against. She's like, well, how so? Like, because it's a question, not a statement. She's like, it can be a question. No, it can't. I've failed assignments because of doing that.
I know. I have experience in failing this.
So she turns to the rest of the class and she's like, class, is anybody else confused with this, with what you have to do? And everybody's like, yup. Raise their hands. And she's like, well, why are you confused? And somebody else is like, because you can't debate a question.
Is she a new teacher?
She's like, is everybody feel this way? And everybody's like, and it was just like mumbles, and she's like, okay, raise your hand if you feel this way.
Everyone.
Hand shot up.
Is she new to teaching the capstone, or is she just bad?
She's bad. Some sort of foreign lady.
Hey,
she's great.
There's nothing against foreign people.
If you understand half of them, there is. Or understand half of what they say, there is.
If you understand half of them, there's a problem.
Half of what they say, my bad.
Even that doesn't make sense to me.
Half of what they say?
I mean, you understand half. It's better than understanding nothing.
Okay, yeah. But she's great in the like science realm, her little lab and everything.
I had something different going through my head. I was like, she's great in the sack. That's what I thought you were going to say.
I wouldn't know that.
I've slept with a TA, not a teacher.
Have you really?
I did, back in the day.
Stories.
Different topic. No, not telling that one here.
Why not?
Without track and field, would you have graduated in 4 years?
I don't know.
Was that your goal if you weren't on the
To
team?
graduate in 4 years?
Yeah. Because
Not
obviously you
necess-
might have changed major, or you did change major, didn't you?
What? I never changed major. It wasn't
Everyone
a
else
goal
did.
to graduate in 4 years. I just wanted to do the best that I could and get the most experience that I could.
So if it took longer, you might have...
Mm-hmm. And so the goal wasn't college. The goal is what's after college. College is just that stepping stone to get to the goal.
You really are just debating at the moment, aren't you? You're carefully articulating your sentences to make sure they make perfect sense.
Yeah, you freaked me out. I messed up the other time.
So, you didn't mess up. Everyone messes up. That's why this podcast is funny, because we're just drinking. But no, how did you get into track?
How to get into track? I was trying to get faster for basketball and football. So I started track my sophomore year of high school. And
I know where this goes, and I didn't know you started to do it because you wanted to get faster.
yeah. See how well that turned out.
I mean, you are quicker.
I wasn't going to get any slower.
I mean, with your legs, it's hard to be slow.
But
He's
yeah.
tall, by the way. He doesn't just have good-looking legs.
No, so football was my main sport. And I quit baseball so I could do track because I was like, I'm not a huge fan of baseball. Like, I like it.
And it's not really helping with much.
Exactly. And so I was like, I'll try this track thing out.
This track thing.
And I didn't know. And so I showed up and they're like, hey, do you want to sprint or do you want to jump? I'm like, I don't really like running, so I'll go jump.
Goes to get quicker. I don't want to run.
Yeah. Running's hard.
Still is.
Yeah. And so I showed up, I was doing triple jump, long jump, and I didn't do high jump. I wasn't coordinated enough.
Still questionable.
Oh, yeah. And so, first outdoor meet comes around, and I scored X amount of points to be able to letter and all that fun stuff. So that was cool. Second meet I had to miss because I had a basketball tournament. I was doing like the AAU summer travel league stuff. And so the third meet, I was told I wasn't allowed to be on the track team anymore. I got cut from track, high school track.
As a sophomore?
Yes.
After scoring in your first ever meet?
Yes.
Sounds familiar to my story.
And so that was fun. So I became friends with the jumps coach, and he's like, just come back out, we have a spot for you, we'll just have you train in triple jump. And I was like, cool. So I went to indoor, and I quit basketball in the middle of my junior year so I could do indoor track.
I didn't know you did indoor for high school.
Went to the Simplot games, all that fun stuff. It was like the giant indoor
I know what it is now. I didn't know.
track meet. Yeah, that was fun.
For high school.
I found out I took like 4th, I think, at Simplot, and I thought I was top 3 that podium and got a medal and everything, and so I missed the podium ceremony, and they're like calling my name and stuff.
You're not the only one who did that. He's now like the ultra marathon runner, Savim, extraordinary guy, and he did his first triathlon. Like trained for a couple of hours, didn't really know what he was doing. Therefore, it's like, oh yeah, just came to see my time. They're like, you this guy's like, we've been calling you for like 2 hours because you won the whole event. It's like, all right.
That's crazy.
And now he like trained for USA for a couple bunch of years and stuff. I've forgotten his name. Joe Rogan podcast. Everything that I say on here is Joe Rogan podcast.
But so then,
Missed the podium or missed the ceremony.
yeah, but I had a great time. Love track. Triple jump was kind of the area I fit in. I wasn't fast enough for long jump, and triple jump's just kind of that weird event that nobody's very good at.
Not there.
In high
Like
school.
you have the one who might go and make it as a triple jump. Like that is it.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
And then outdoor came around, and I would triple jump, and then while the jumpers were doing sprint workouts, I would go hurdle because it was less running. So I did some hurdling.
Always the exception. So then it comes around to senior year.
Yep.
How did you get recruited for CSU?
Football. I didn't get recruited anywhere for track.
I know the story.
Oh, my bad. I keep forgetting about this thing. Yeah, so I got recruited to all the RMAC schools for football. I went to a bunch of I got invited to these different tryout, combine-ish things. So I went to CSU, CU, Wyoming. There's another one in Denver I went to. And
Not
then-
DU?
not
They didn't
DU.
have football.
No, this was like some other one.
Colorado Christian?
So I did really well in 7-on-7 tournaments. We took like 3rd in the state or something, I think. And then I got invited to some combines down in Denver with these people, and they told me that it started at like 2, but that was just like the normal play, but the actual combine started at 10. So I got a call at 10:30 that woke me up. They're like, "Hey Nick, where are you at? Like we've been holding up the combine to make sure you're almost here. Just wondering what's going on." I was like,
But there in 5 minutes.
"Oh God, Dad, we have to go."
I got told to start at 2!
So we got there a little late, but it was still fun. And then I went on a visit to Fort Lewis in Durango, and so I was gonna be either a big fish in a little pond or a small fish in a big pond.
That's a good way of putting it.
Both my parents went D1, and so I was like, I have to go D1 too. And then my high school jumps coach, Travis Smith, jumped here at CSU with the old jumps coach, Tim and Kathleen Colley.
Yep.
And so I was going to come to CSU and walk on for football, and then I met the track coaches, and they're like, yeah, we'd love to have you on the team. Just come on by and we'll get you signed up. I was like, cool. And so I was going to do track and football. I was going to walk on for both. When I got here for my, registration day, or it's like the come visit campus for a couple days thing.
Orientation.
That's it, yeah, orientation.
I was struggling to find the word then as well.
I just called up the coach. I'm like, hey, Tim, I just was on campus. Want to swing by, say hi. He's like, oh, my bad. I forgot to tell you. I actually am not the coach at CSU anymore. I'm at Idaho now. I was like, oh, cool. So who's going to be my coach? He's like, this guy, Ryan Bailey. I was like, awesome. So I Google him, and it's this big, scary guy.
With his barbed wire tattoo.
With bald head, big goatee, head track and field coach at Shadron. I was like, oh, God, what am I getting into? So I go and meet him, and the dude's huge.
He is huge.
He's what, 6'4", 250 or something.
Yeah, I still remember him and Kareem benching against each other. Yeah.
Very in your face. And I sat
All
down.
three of them were back then.
Oh, Bedard, Kareem, and Bailey. Very loud. So I sat down with Bailey. Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a triple jumper, and I'm trying to walk on for football as well. He's like, football? Are you trying to walk on for football? I was like, that's kind of the sport that I play. And he looked at me with my 6'1", 155 build. He's like, we'll find a spot for you here. It's like, okay, cool. He's like, you know what a decathlon is? I was like, nope. I see you're a triple jumper here, and you also did hurdles and long jump. I was like, kinda, mostly triple jump. Like, my best in high school for long jump was, I think, 1910 or maybe broke 20.
I don't even know what the conversion is for that.
I was jumping like 630.
Okay.
And then
I'm glad you know, because I was about to look it up.
hurdles, I think I ran a 15.4 in the 110s.
It's not terrible.
No, but...
For someone who didn't run hurdles.
So, I told him that, and he's like, do you high jump at all? I'm like, not really, no. I can front flip, though.
I was waiting for that part of the story. I knew this was coming.
I cleared 6 feet in the 2-footed front flip. And, so I want you to train for the decathlon. I was like, why? I think you'll be good at it. I was like, all right. And so I had to go through all this NCAA compliance, paperwork stuff. And I'm like, so what do I do with this football stuff? He's like, I don't know, it's up to you. I was like, I'm a skinny white kid. I'm not going to make this. I'm going to try this track thing. So, ended up trying the decathlon, and
Well, this comes into how was
seven new events, learning.
How was being introduced to the decathlon? Having
Was wild.
officially competed in 2 of them out of the 10. Hurdles and long jump are the 2 you only officially competed in.
Yeah, I never did a sprint in high school. The coach didn't want me to. I ran a 4.56 in high school in the 40 for football, but he wouldn't let me do a sprint and track.
I mean, he's just an idiot then for that, but...
But my first decathlon did not go well.
What was the first one?
That was KU.
I thought it was.
Because I didn't finish an indoor hep.
Well, indoors heptathlon. You had the rolled ankle at
Yeah,
Mines?
so I tried spiking the kid in the 1,000 at Mines on that first lap. I rolled my ankle.
Did you actually try spiking?
Yeah, the dude cut me off. I was pissed.
Maybe you shouldn't admit that. Carry on. Air Force was alien.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Growing in his neck.
The goiter thing. Nobody knew what that was.
Like, his whole side of his neck and, like, half his face blew up into this, like, ball. And our trainer was just like, I'll give you some drugs. We'll see if it goes down.
Take some ibuprofen, you'll be fine.
That's everyone's. That year, that was everyone's solution to pain, except me. With you, Justin, Josh, and everyone else, like, you each had a whole entire thing of ibuprofen, like, to yourself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the number of injuries I've had through my track career are ridiculous.
So, yeah, first decathlon must... Yeah, because KU was the first one outdoor.
Yeah, so there's Air Force, and then they tried to get me to go to indoor conference for triple jump.
Yeah.
And I hadn't trained
Because you only did 3
so
heps.
I jumped, like, 45 meters.
Because you went to New Mexico to try and get the qualifying, didn't you? Or, like, to make sure you were in range of...
I only jumped, like, mid-45 or something. High 45. So I didn't make it.
I even went to conference.
Yeah.
The guy who got cut afterwards.
And then outdoor conference came around, and KU happened. God, I scored, like, a 54, I think, in the deck. I ran a 12-200, 56-second 400.
Second? Oh, I thought you meant, like, second run. I was like, why'd you run it twice?
I just ran it so poorly. I ran it twice.
And it was still... That'd be good if it was 52nd the second time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. You definitely got thrown in at the deep end of the track world. It was either
It's
that,
definitely a learning experience.
or if you got put into like the 4 hurdles, probably were the 2 worst.
Coming into it, I didn't even know like when to warm up, when to eat, when to cool down, what most of the events are like.
I did it for 5 years. I'm still not sure what was the best for me.
That was wild. Like, how do you recover for this? What do
You
do
don't.
The next
You
day?
pray.
After that 400, waking up for the 1 second
Oh,
hurdles, I was like,
that is the
oh,
worst transition ever.
Coach, I feel horrible. He's like, yep, that's the deck. I was like, shit.
Yeah, it is. Heps, like doing my first hep coming here, it was so nice because you end on high jump, you don't have the 400, and then you go to hurdles like, I feel alright, comparatively. Like, I know what it used to be like finishing the 400. There was people I used to compete against in England, after they finished stage 4, they'd go do hurdle drills to loosen off.
Ugh.
Like, straight away just to try and get them so they didn't completely seize up and, like, die.
The number of ice baths we took and boots
Compression
and belts.
boots. Just everything. Yeah, it's. I still don't think there's a science to it. I think it's just hope you're feeling good. So then, going back to, yeah, you got thrown into the deep end. Which event was the biggest learning curve?
Biggest learning curve. It's weird because they're all different. So pole vaults is you have to get over that fear. The fear of you have to have your step perfect to get on this pole, to make it bend, to swing upside down so you can stare down the track upside down, to get over this bar and then land on this pit, hopefully.
I mean, the fear was never a thing for me because I love get fling in the air. But I would have said that's the biggest learning curve for anyone because it's nothing like anything else. It's not running, it's not jumping, it's not throwing.
I never did gymnastics or anything. I hated being upside down.
You can tell.
I still hate it.
It still looked like a fish out of water when you used to do pole vault. I think my brother even said that before I did. Like, he sort of was like, he just looks like a fish flailing.
I just don't feel comfortable with it. I'm getting
Still?
better. No, I feel better now. It's just there's so many little details to do.
I would agree, pole vault is...
But so that was a very technical thing to get over. But then shot put comes around, and that's a very strength-oriented thing that I had to get over. Coming in with my bench of like, what's your max? I'm like, I could get 185 a couple times maybe. Or my squat.
Your max was higher than that freshman year.
I don't know about that.
Mine was lower than yours on bench, and mine was 215.
Yeah, but that's with the conversion and everything. Right?
I repped 185 the first time, I think, for max.
And then squat wasn't much better.
Oh, squat was my thing. I out-squatted you and Nick.
Oh yeah. That was horrible.
Which he is called Nick, but there was another Nick on the track team who we roomed with.
Noodle.
Yep. Does he still get called that?
He's not around anymore. Longo brings it up sometimes.
I mean, he's around, but...
Longo came up to me the other day in the weight room. He's like, you know what, Nick? I just fucking hate that I miss Noodle so much.
Well, I see him half the time as
Nice.
well, because I just work down the hallway. So I see him
Yeah.
occasionally and say hi. And he always puts on his, hello! In his British accent. I just tried to put on a British accent. I am British.
Discus was weird because it's the only turning event.
You still don't spin for shot?
Mm-mm. Glide.
I mean...
Outdoor shot's better for me than indoor too.
I still remember you trying to learn javelin, though. Because you tried to baseball cross-step.
Oh, yeah.
You and Hunter that year. And it's like, no.
worked.
Move your legs the other way. Which could have been... It might be the biggest curve, because it's not something you have to learn new. You have to break down the old memory of putting your leg behind and putting it in front.
Oh, yeah, so weird. And then the crossing and the
Yeah.
coming down. Oh, it's so
Jabs are... If you're not able to... like, tell your body what to do and it kind of just goes by itself, javelin is horrible to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to force yourself to do things basically throughout.
I've been having an issue with keeping the tip in, so my tip comes out.
Some people throw like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do, because you see something like even Torkildsen. He full on wraps around, but then he just has the nicest pull through ever. But
Really?
he like full on, it's arm back here, tips out here, but then when they last foot, the shoulder's then straight and then it launches, and he's a beast of a thrower. I don't even know if he still throws now.
High jump's weird. I remember one practice, I could never jump away from the bar. I always jumped in because I didn't feel like I was going to be able to make it in the pit. and the
What do you mean
skip.
away from the bar? Oh, do you mean like up rather than like in?
Yeah, so you know you have to have like the lean and everything.
Yeah. I was like, technically you don't jump away. You just meant to lean away and the force takes you forwards.
Exactly.
And I was like, jump away from the bar?
Well, that's what Bailey calls it. Jump away. I don't know. So one day he got so mad at me that he's like, Nick, come with me. I was like, oh God, what? You're gonna run at this wall, and you're gonna do your high jump approach, and it's gonna force you to jump away. You don't jump away, you're landing in the wall. I was like, all right. So now I'm serious. You're serious?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
so I
definitely
had to
serious.
run, do my turn, and jump at the wall. And that took a couple times to do correctly.
Yeah. So the first time I ever realised I was half decent at track, I was at like the school nationals at age 14 in England. And I just got thrown in at high jump. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't have a run up or anything. Watching all of these like guys who can jump almost 2 meters at the time, and I was just like, yeah, Ferron Sayers, I think his best at the time was 195. As like a 14-year-old. He was a big 14-year-old. But I was just like watching them, they all kind of knew what they're doing. They would all go through their run up, like take off and just go up.
Yeah.
And then like land on the other side, like the same side of the bar, and like run off. Like they wouldn't go, like they'd go and do their jump, make sure their steps in the right place. And like, so jump away from the one, not go over. Went and tried and did that. Didn't jump away, carried on going forward, hit the opposite upright, knocked it over onto the floor like during wars. This isn't a stadium full of like 35,000 people. I just went and did this, and it's like on the background in TV as well, like because we're like in the middle, like watching all the sprints go past, and I was just like, you can't do it. Like at that point, I was so embarrassed. You just have to like, well, this was funny, and my family was watching them like, he has no idea what he's doing. I was like, I don't, but I was just copying everyone else because it's what you do.
Exactly.
People who know what they're doing, you try and copy it. No, that was embarrassing.
No, Bailey's had a lot of
Inventive.
yeah, inventive ways to teach me different things. So pole vault, I had to come in one Saturday. Nobody else came in that day, and I had a pool vault. Pole vaulting in the pool. And so we got the pole vault there, and he's like, all right, you're going to feel what it's like to be upside down. It's like, oh, God.
I love it.
So he stood outside the pool on the edge and held the pole in the pool.
And you had to run and...
No, I was in the pool.
Oh,
and I had
he
to
do that. You had to
shimmy
like
down
climb
the
up.
pole and then do the whole invert deal and push myself up to stay on the pole. And if I messed up, I hit the wall.
Oh, so he was like holding it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was like, pool vaulting's a thing, but that's a new one.
And then...
So basically, he puts fear of hitting walls in you, and you do it correctly.
Pretty much. It's like, you're going to do it right or you're going to hurt yourself. I hurt myself a lot.
I imagine shins.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Like that's what I'm imagining. Like for the pool vault, I'm imagining shins just coming down and hitting.
And then we also did it where we put it next to the lane marker, and so I had to get out of the water over the lane marker and finish. So you had to get the quarter.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That was entertaining, because the lane marker, it has like the little protective things, the little wheels.
I mean, they're still plastic though.
Those are plastic, but the wire going through them is metal.
Doing some coding?
No, that's the notes for this.
Oh.
I always have notes.
You got notes?
Text. Yeah, text pad.
Oh, that's cool. I thought you were just making this up as you went along.
Oh no, I've got them written out.
Nice.
Oh, are you doing it?
Yeah. Hi, Colin. Colin was our guest like in episode 3. Colin just came and joined in.
And so I went up and over, clipped my shorts on the metal wire, and it ripped off. And I got
Swim
up,
shorts?
Well, they were like athletic shorts. I don't have swim trunks. And so
With-
I had my compressions underneath.
I was gonna say you always wore compressions underneath.
So that was fun.
At least it wasn't nothing. That would have been a great story for him to tell. I had this dude once tried to teach him how to pool vault, and he ended up stripping his shorts off and swimming naked. He would have laughed as well. Because I still remember when you came in from T1 and T2 one weekend with the massacre on your neck.
God.
And the fun that he made of you for that.
I try to my best to forget about those.
Why? It's great memories. So this isn't based off an event. This is like doing... I was going to say like doing sports like full time. Biggest learning curve of like... being like semi-professional at like a sport, whether it was recovery, learning how to recover, how much you need to recover, eating, sleep, mental aspect, like all of it like combined.
I think a lot of people look at professional athletes as these just machines that are perfect diets, perfect regimens, perfect daily lives, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And that works great for some people. They have
Not most.
They have their bedtime at a strict 9:30. They have only drink water. They only have a certain.
You've done that for certain times of the year, though.
And it didn't turn out well. There's definitely a social aspect that I believe is needed. That I call it mental recovery.
Well, that's why. So my family always said like they could tell when I was being serious because I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't make jokes. I didn't do anything, and I kind of struggled with it. And then they're like, when you're relaxed and you're just chilling there, and I'm always the one to crack jokes that like in the middle of the event, and it's like when someone comes back, it's like, well, that was crap, wasn't it? And they're just like, hey, I was like, just making a joke. But I always did better when I was relaxed because you're not when you're constantly thinking about something so hard in track of it when you're like an isolated person essentially. Like there's no, you get time to think about it. It's not just do. You really punish yourself basically because you're so focused that you just kind of don't let go, and sometimes you just need to trust that you've done it enough times that it's going to work.
Exactly. That's one of the things I love about the decathlon is that you're not really like you are competing against the other teams.
Oh,
but you're not.
Most camaraderie between any group ever in
and so
sport.
Like being good
between you and
kids from New
competitors,
Mexico,
yeah.
Air Force, and like if you miss a bar, they're upset for you.
I'm still friends with the people I compete against in England. Like the people who went to World Juniors and like should have won medals and stuff. Like I'm still friends with them. And I'm down here getting cut over here, and I'm like, I'm still good friends with them. Like, you spend a whole weekend together, basically 5 hours a day, 4 times a year. Like in England, we do a lot of decathlons. It's like you get to know each other, and you know who's going to be there, and you look forward to seeing them because it's no one else can share the experience of doing a decathlon except decathletes.
And you want them to do their best, just because it's the most fun to be able to beat someone when they're at their best.
Oh, and you just friends with them at that point as well.
And so it's more of that group of different teams competing against the decathlon as itself.
Yeah, because no one knows what it's like to do a decathlon until you've done it.
Which is super weird to think about. It doesn't make any sense.
And everyone's like, oh, decathlon must be easy. Like, even the girls like doing heptathlon, we're like, come do a decathlon, you'll see.
Oh, the freshman this year is hilarious. She's like, oh, that pentathlon was so hard. I'm like, yeah, do another one tomorrow. That's a decathlon. What?
Yep, pretty much. With the worst recovery. Like, recovering from the 200 ain't as bad as the 400.
Yeah.
I kind of cut you off on that story. It's like, what's the thing that you learned, or what's the biggest learning curve like in doing sport full time? Like, everyone thought we were all perfect machines, and
Oh, definitely not.
I didn't know if you were going somewhere with that.
Like I try my best to eat well. Like I try to have.
Should have seen my diet freshman year.
The amount of cheese you ate.
Cheesy. Everyone was like, I just remember Isaac coming out. He'd have like his pasta and like his vegetables and maybe some like a burger or something, and then he'd have a plate of cheesy bread by the side of him every time.
Nick still makes fun of me because he remembers freshman year when I'd eat like 5 cookies a meal.
I didn't do the dessert.
I got the cookies, would go wait in line for the other food, was munching on the cookies while I'm waiting in line.
I never did that. I interrupt you again though, but I just remember that.
But I'm definitely trying to eat better. I do a lot of chicken, rice, and sweet potatoes, steak, spinach, and mushrooms. I love cooking. We've been doing a lot more crock pot meals.
Easy to go. Do you think that eating is the biggest part that's made a difference or makes a difference?
I think that part makes a difference.
Definitely does.
Depending,
I don't know how much of a difference, it makes a difference.
I think it just kind of, it all combines. Sleeping's a huge thing.
Oh.
I try to get to sleep at between 10 and 11 every day.
Especially when you have to, we get woken up 4 hours before the first event. The first event's at 8. Like trying to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning when you're used to waking up at 8 or 9 isn't fun.
I remember when we had Don Kirby, it was Hunter and I competing, and the hurdles started at 7.
Oh, God.
So we woke up at 4, and then we ate breakfast, showered, got ready, and we were going to go get coffee. We didn't have any coffee in our room, so we went over to Bailey's room, and Hunter's knocking on the door. He's like, Bailey, can we grab some coffee? He wakes up. He's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, Bailey, we have to leave soon. He's like, oh, no. Yeah, come get some coffee. We got to go.
Like, That's
so early in the morning.
one thing
And
why
Bailey wakes up early.
it's one thing why I think being an international decathlete is easier than being like a college or high school decathlete. Because all of ours get fitted in as we're the least important event. We'll put you as early as possible, like you heard us, like your second day event to get you through so you're done at like midday or like 2. But when you're international, you only do like 3 events in the morning, but they start at like 11.
Yeah.
11 to 7. Your body is a whole different animal. Whether or not, like, you might only finish at 11 the night before. Like, 'cause there's ones that did, like, in Doha, like, for the Commonwealth Games, they couldn't do the evening sessions until it was, like, 8. They'd start.
Right.
Because it
We
was
did
so
that for
hot.
Fresno once.
But the equivalent, you don't have to start at the equivalent of, like, 4 a.m. the next day. Because they give you, like, that's one thing I always wanted to do, one with a proper rest where you get, like, an hour and a half between each. And then you have, like, a 4-hour break in the middle, like, to go nap or whatever. I mean, loads of people, I know people napped because I know the international guys. And it's just like, I really wanted to do an actual like international decathlon like timetable once just to see how much better I'd do.
Well, that's how outdoor conference at Fresno was. It was so hot during the day that we started at 4. It's just a neighbor. Yeah, we started at 4, but then at the end of day 1, we're running the 400 at like 8 or 9. It was under the lights.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. It was so much fun.
Was that sophomore year or was that freshman?
The sophomore year.
Freshman was San
Diego when it rained the entire time, and I was pissed.
Welcome to England.
Well, the people
Dude,
from
we used to-
California are like, oh, this is great, all the rain's
So-
here. And we're like, damn.
They don't have them here, but like our outdoor high jumps got covered up by like metal chassis that we had to like wind up and move it because it just rained so much in England. The mats would be ruined if you didn't cover them up properly. So during like we'd have competitions where literally you've got 20 decathlon guys sat under this metal shelter together like on our phones like in between jumps like trying to stay dry and like although when it comes to like javelin everyone's like holding theirs under their coat trying to keep their grip dry and getting themselves wet and it's a different story.
Oh yeah, pole vault was crazy.
Oh, pole vault was so dangerous.
There was a little dip where we took off from at that like 11-12 mark.
Yeah.
And so there was a puddle there that we took off in.
At least you know if you're hitting it, you can hear it.
Exactly.
No, yeah, it's decathlons in England. You either got blessed by the weather or you were slaughtered by it. Thankfully, for the most part, actually, I had scorching hot weather for most of mine. There was one where I know where we were literally poles like, where am I gripping? Hide these part under, get the rest of the pole wet, and hope that like it doesn't seep down. But no, there's yeah, it's. I wish I did one of those.
So eating, sleeping.
Basically, taking care of yourself.
The amount of water I drink too.
So yes, you like not control, self-preservation. What's the word I'm thinking of? Self-help. This makes it sound really depressing.
I need a lot of self-help here.
Taking care of yourself,
but like
basically.
during a multi, after day 1, I always have a giant coconut water.
Ooh.
I like the coconut waters. We did Pedialyte.
There's a lot of people who are sponsored by them.
I don't like Pedialyte just because it's so sugary and very sweet.
Yeah, and
so
it's
it tastes
not
weird. I get cotton mouth easily from that. So I like coconut water.
No, yeah, there's one of the British decathletes. I think it was actually Bryant was inspired by Vita Coco, and he used to get like.
That's why I'm trying to say it right now.
You want to get sponsored by?
Coconut water.
You can't be
Vita
sponsored.
Coco.
You're a college athlete.
Yet.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I know you went to USAs or were meant to, but.
I got I've been getting some sort of emails for the Pan Am Games too.
Oh yes, it's probably because it's during everything else. Everyone else is taken.
Probably, yeah.
Or because everyone's like
Well, everyone wants to go to USA's and World Championships. So
yeah, because they all run
it.
at the same time, so they send like college people there.
Oh yeah.
Because Tim Duckworth was over, was it British trials the other week? Like indoor, my mum was watching or something? No.
He was ranked number 1 at the European Championships.
It was the Euros. It was the Euro
crazy.
champs.
They had
Mum was
his
like, do you know
deck
this
score.
Tim Duckworth? And I was like, I never competed against him, but I've known his name since I started doing the decathlon, because it's always, who's this, like, because no one ever competed against him, because he was out here in high school.
Did you see it took a 58:40 to go to European Championships?
For the HEP?
Yeah.
Not surprised. Because indoors, yeah, they only take like the top 16 or whatever, because you don't have an open field.
Right, but then USA, it took like 54. Was an
Oh yeah, but
unqualified.
European's a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim was number 1. But
He
he
should.
had his deck score in there.
For his HEP?
Yeah. It
His
said,
deck's like 8.
I know, it said HEP scores, so like that all the heptathletes, and the first 3 guys
That'd
had,
be a
like,
world record by like 1,000 points.
I know, but Doesn't Ashton have the world record for like 64 or something?
It's something up there, but he doesn't have the outdoor one anymore.
Mm-mm.
Kevin Mayer.
Shit.
Meyer. Meyer.
Oh, it's French.
True. That was a hell of a
They're
performance.
little guys though.
Oh yeah, none of them are huge.
It's crazy.
Because you can't. Generally, like pole vaulters aren't big. Generally, like the good ones.
Like Mondo, it's crazy.
Like a lot of them aren't the and like then like for the
Wanna try
fifth.
this?
Maybe try and this. What's this? This is a tangerine cream, which I've. It's kind of like a creamy citradelic.
I like to think of creamsicle.
No, I've never had a creamsicle if it's a real thing.
You've never had a creamsicle?
No.
Not even from like the ice cream truck?
No. I've had ice creams and I was going to say I've had icicles. I've had ice lollies.
You're missing out.
I don't think I have. Cream doesn't, to me, doesn't feel like it should be in that.
Okay, it's fine. You're fine.
Change of topic. Red shirting.
Yeah.
We're going to go broad scale and work our way down. What is your opinion on red shirting in general?
In
Not
general,
just in track, just in like college.
absolutely should happen. Every freshman should red shirt.
Interesting.
Are
Are you saying that because you knew there's a medical one as well, so you don't care if people waste like the actual one?
No, it's because
Actually, let's change it. So you think everyone should red shirt? What do you think about medical red shirts?
I think medical red shirts. I think they do medical red shirts great. It should be something that had like an injury from that sport that
You should get to play the year if you like already started, like another year.
that so like if it inhibited you from competing that entire season.
Yeah,
You should be able to get another season because you're like.
it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
basically.
But I think every freshman should redshirt just because you're coming to a new school, a new sports system, a new way to.
New social life, a new way to live.
You're living in the dorms.
Like basically no Americans have lived away from home until college.
Exactly. And
I mean, the only reason I did because I went to Australia for 4 months.
And every freshman that competes athletically does worse from what they did the previous year. And so, like, even
Zion.
in the weight room, all right, you got an exception for every rule.
Well, I was thinking I'm thinking of like the
He
school.
went off yesterday. That
I know.
was crazy.
13 for 13, which is ridiculous. But I'm thinking now, so I would agree, like in track and field, I think undeniably, like, you should because people are bigger than you. And like football, for the most part, people are bigger than you. And physicality is a huge thing in lower sports. Basketball, most people are bigger than, there are exceptions, and there are some people, I don't know how good Trae Young was as a freshman, like people his size, they didn't really put on size, but they might have been skilled enough to play as a freshman because they're a skill player rather than a size strength person.
But even that extra year of just gaining that skill,
Settling into
handling,
life.
knowing the team, getting to know the coaches, getting to know that regimen, getting to know what's expected of you.
So bar the special
It's just all a
exemptions.
huge learning level.
I think basketball is the one where you see it's most freshmen like all the time. Because like you put Nevada this year, who is a team of seniors basically, and the average starting age is older than the Phoenix Suns starting age.
What?
Yeah, that's true. Theirs is like 22 point something and Suns is like 21 point something.
That's wild.
Like, they are so good because they've been through it all for 3-4 years and they've known that. And for the most part, I'd agree that everyone should because whether it's physical or not, adapting physically, adapting mentally, trying to go through a new social life if you've moved away to a different school because a lot of athletes move across states and stuff, getting used to being away from home, getting used to college courses, which are completely different, and just trying to enjoy life and not be depressed and drop out and hate yourself.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately still happens to a lot of people. And it happens to people who aren't athletes. Like, you add that on top, which might actually save some people because you get a friend group that you're with 24/7. But
My freshman year, I did not do well in school. 'Cause I coasted through high school. I was like, I don't do a whole lot.
first semester I didn't, but that's because first semester I signed up for classes in England, had no idea what the classes were, and I signed up for Calc, which I withdrew and then repeat delete. Intro to Humanities, which turned out to be a bitch of a class, and like some other random ones. And I was like, I don't know what I was getting myself into because I didn't know what classes were. I just kind of signed up what sounded cool off the name of it, having not known what the American system's like, having not known the classes, teachers, or anything. So yeah, classes weren't great first semester.
My Gen Chem.
I also had 8 a.m.s every day
Oh, God.
first semester.
Yeah, going to high school, and you'd be at class at 7:30, and then we left at, Colin, what was it, 3 or 2:50? We got done with high school classes.
You're 250. Foster still finishes at 250.
I don't know why I didn't ask the English kid instead.
Well, I live next to your school, so I know by the time the classes come out. Because Kennard finishes at 3. And the other middle school finishes at like 3:15 or 3:30.
There's a couple restraining orders against you, aren't there?
I live there. So I hope not.
Yeah, and so going from class from 7:30 to 3, and then practice from 3 to 6 every day. And then you come to college, and it's like, you've got like 3 classes today, and they're each 50 minutes long. And then you kind of...
How long were your classes?
I mean, it depended if I had a lab.
Did you have 50-minute ones?
Oh, yeah. I had 50-minute ones. I had hour and...
I didn't know if that was a difference
half?
between...
Hour and 15?
Because we had 50 minutes and an hour and 15 in England at like college.
Yeah. And then there's also like the 3-hour labs.
See, we don't have labs.
Gen Chem, 1 and 2.
I only had to do
Those
one lab.
got me.
I only had one lab because you only had to do one AUCC lab. And I did...
I had to write 5 pages on why a candle burns.
really big font. Lots of pictures, narrow margin or like really fat margins, and double space the like bullet like the full stop the periods to make the lines more spaced.
You had to write about what you saw, smelled, felt, observed.
Felt
Yeah.
burning. My hands on it and I'm burnt.
Like, well, the flame's red and orange. Smells
Orange.
like a candle.
I would have chosen like a woodwick that like crackles, so at least I had something else to talk about. Like a sound added to it.
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't know how we got to that from redshirting. But going back, I think I already know your answer for this. Was redshirting beneficial for you?
Yeah.
I guess track's different. Track, you kind of get 2 redshirts because there's indoor and outdoor season, and if you run cross country, you have 3 because that's another technically season, quote unquote, that you can redshirt for.
Right.
So you redshirted.
Outdoor.
You never redshirted indoor.
Mm-mm. So this past indoor, I wasn't eligible for redshirt, or I ran out of eligibility.
Oh.
So technically, I was a.
So oh yeah, because you can't redshirt as a senior, I guess. Because it would have been that basically, you would have been redshirting as a senior before you did your senior year.
Right.
You would have had to redshirt like last year because you already run your
Yes.
senior year.
But for the reason the outdoor redshirt came around, which I'm really happy.
Was it sophomore year? Was it sophomore? Junior?
Last year.
Last year? I thought you redshirted out before that.
The reason it came around is because I was like, yeah, I've got like an extra semester at college anyways, I might as well redshirt. And Bailey's like, yeah, all right. And I was like, no, you're not. I was like, huh? Why wouldn't I? I would get an extra year of experience.
Training.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be here anyway, so like, why not? And so indoor, I didn't redshirt, and that's when I fell at conference and didn't make nationals and all that fun stuff. You saw
Still
that
not your
video,
best
right?
fault. I haven't seen that one.
You haven't
I've
seen
seen
that
the...
video? Oh, you gotta
Oh, no, wait. Have seen that one.
Over the third hurdle. on
Yeah,
Sunday?
indoor, and you like full on like almost scorpion.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Justin's one.
That's
At like
funny.
Wyoming
See?
or whatever. Yeah, you can see it. Where it didn't win fail of the year somehow.
But yeah, so then I had to get up and finish the race, but I pushed the hurdles over with my hands. I didn't know that was illegal.
There you go, learning a new sport. Don't know what's illegal.
So-
4 years in, 3 years in.
Found out that I got -2 points for the hurdles.
I didn't know they could negative. I thought you would have
I
just been
didn't either.
disqualified. I guess because it's not like one race, it's a thing. They don't want to disqualify you
It's
from
a multi.
everything. Yeah.
So they gave me -1 point for each hurdle that I knocked down with my hands.
So the best way is if you kicked them, it would have been fine. Like if you just went and sparted all of the hurdles in front of you, you would have been okay.
I hurt myself if I did it.
Oh yeah, there's no. The back of sprint shoes are not padded. Let's say. So what do you think it helped you with, other than getting you another year of experience and like training?
What it helped me with was just a better.
There doesn't.
I
I was like, there doesn't have to be an answer. I was just asking.
I can't. I'm coming back into this season a lot more, I don't know, revitalized.
Yeah.
Because being in a red shirt, which I was a little upset at the coach for not letting me red shirt, and so when I finally redshirted, I got a actual red shirt to wear as a jersey, just to rub it.
I was gonna make the joke saying you're not wearing a red shirt, you're in green, but I love it. I know that. Yep, that's you. Yep, I've got nothing else to say.
And so that was...
I bet Longo loved that. Did you lift in it?
No, I didn't lift it.
Oh, he would have
That
loved
was just
that.
competition. But,
Longo, by the way, was is the track and field weights coach.
Mhm.
I really want to get him on to do a podcast as well.
He'd love to.
I need to keep asking him. I just don't whenever I see him because I only see him like passing in the hallway and I always forget.
But
Ooh.
redshirting was, I had to get myself everywhere. I had to get myself to the meets. I had to sign myself up for meets. Bailey always helped out, but
Yeah, but you have to do it yourself because
Yeah.
otherwise it's in
I got to use
violation
CSU
technically.
equipment. But there were a couple meets where I was all on my own. So I like traveled to mines, and the mines coaches helped me. Thank God that I knew them a little bit.
Yeah.
From years of training there.
It's like that in. I was gonna say it's like that, but it's like because a bunch of the decathletes in England, because we did so many decathlons a year anyway, you'd sign up for a decathlon and then like pick and choose kind of like the events you wanted to do, and they would just let you even if you didn't finish one because you were international. Like the number one in the country, like Kay, when he went and did 100 long, he wanted to do them back to back, and he did shot, didn't do high jump, then ran the 400, and then like didn't do hurdles and like did disc. Like he pick and chooses events because you're allowed to, and it's like they know who you are, and it's kind of like you can't really train for a decathlon because without doing it, because you can't go and
That's
do
so
events
hard.
back to back like in competition. You can't like you can because we have like leagues in England where we'd go and everyone was part of a club, and each club like they'd be in like the top division in England, but then you'd sign up for like 3 events, but that's still less than like one of our days. And it's just like you can't train to do 10 events without doing it, so they would like wouldn't do the ones that would hurt them like physically because it took so much effort and stuff, and they'd do the ones that they need to work on, and like or they wanted to work on this rest period like 'cause they did badly last time or something. It's a really odd thing to like practice for, but it's such a unique thing of having them, and you only have 3 max 4 a year that you do. That it's you don't really like. Even people who've been doing decathlon for like 10 years have probably only done like 60 decathlons, if that. Like that's a lot for 10 years. Like 6 a year is a lot.
Yeah.
You think about how many football games and like stuff you play, and you can practice going against people in pads and tackling and stuff. You can't practice competition for track, really.
It's hard.
And then decathlon is like another level above that. You have like 30 minutes between each event. You've got 10 events.
Our decathlon was wild.
Have you done it again since?
No, thank God.
So you have to start from the 100. I'll give you the rundown of the decathlon actually. 100 long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 is day 1. 110 hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, 1500 is day 2. And you have to start the 100 and then start the 1500 within an hour of starting the 100, which is horrible.
So we had to put the certain shoes for each event.
Well, yeah, we'd go and
start of
tape
the
out all
event.
our run-ups. We'd already do our javelin warm-ups up, like practice shot put, do a practice pole. But doing the practice for that is so hard because you don't want to do more than one because you tire yourself out because you've got 10 events in an hour.
So I think like pole vault, I put it at like 13, and I was like, whatever, I'll be fine.
It's terrible.
I'll do
Because
one.
the biggest gap everyone always wants is because you have to, if you're doing the out decathlon, you have to go from the 400 meters into the 110 hurdles.
That was the biggest break we
And-
had, and we had like 15 minutes.
If that. Because that means if you have 15 between that and they take...
Long jump,
minute-
we just did a short approach.
Yeah,
And
and I mean the
better
world
than that.
there's world records and stuff like that, and
Oh.
it's like I think they still score like 6.5, like close to 7 or something.
That's it?
Actually, it might be worse. Then I'll look it up now.
It better be better.
I was like, that's actually really low when I said that.
I remember when Hunter finished his, he scored like 63 or something.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because like you basically, unless you really mess up on like your throws, you take 1 attempt.
Yeah. So like high jump, I started at 190.
Yeah, so you go for like, you know what you can clear, like kind of no matter if you feel off or not, and you know it's safe, but it's a decent enough point scoring. Like if you do a good discus throw, you're done. You do a good javelin throw, you're done. You save your energy, you wait for the 1500 or whatever. Like
That 1500 was wild.
yeah, it's horrible. The world record holder is 7897. for an
Jeez.
hour decathlon.
That's absurd. What were his events?
I don't know, but I don't know
What
how.
did
The 1 hour. Let's go down to this. I've started last night. The world record is the checker that wrote. It doesn't say what he did in each, but I'm going to click on him and see if it shows me his best for each.
Colin and I looked up the world records for each event and put them in the deck score.
Oh, they score over 10,000, don't they?
I was like 12,300 or something.
But that's the thing. So from... You get to like those big point spikes though. So it's like after 70 in javelin, it kind of just goes exponentially. And it's like after... If you get below like 10-4 in the 100... Like there's points where everyone... There's points where it's really slow at the beginning because it's not very good. Then there's the points where you gain points like in that area, which is where most international decathletes are. And then if you're past it, you get like an exponential like growth again.
Because long jumps, like once you jump past 720 or 730.
Yeah, because Ashton Eaton used to be on like 2.5 after 2 events. Because he'd run a 10-3, 10-4, and then you'd go long jump 8-20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, there are parts where you get exponentially like
Did you see the
bigger.
Olympic qualifying marks?
For UK, it's normally like 8-2. But the Olympics one's normally like 7-6.
This year's wild.
Do you mean Olympics?
Yeah.
Olympics isn't this year.
Well, I mean next year, but the Olympic.
The overall
the
Olympic one?
marks are already out.
Olympic. Where is the Olympics next year?
Tokyo.
Oh.
Tokyo.
I saw a video the other day. You know those like
Hey, can I try that one?
those music like squares where they're the buttons that make the noise. Like you program them in.
The
Like
music squares with the buttons that make.
So like DJ things where they have each button, like you press it and it's like a kick, a snare, a riff, like a vocal chord, and it's like a 9x9 square or something.
Great device.
Someone programmed in like the Tokyo Drift one. He did the whole song on the like the DJ square or whatever it is called.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
I had the Happy Camper from Santa Fe. That was pretty good. Nick
Oh yeah, I've opened a
Nick loved that.
Heyday Modern IPA, spelled Hea, Hey, Hea.
There you go.
It's getting to me. So what's the qualifying mark? Do you know what it is? Because I can't remember now.
For the deck, it's 8350.
You sure that's not just the American one? Because there's no way that's the Olympic one. The Olympic ones are way lower. That's where you get the... I don't want to be racist or like horrible to people. Like you get those random African women running 13 in the 100 because they qualified for their country and they get selected and they send them because they don't get to send them. Like the Olympic ones are way lower. The like UK and USA ones are way higher because they don't want to take people that aren't going to medal because it's a waste of money.
Whatever it was.
7,900 is the decathlon one for the US.
Then I don't
That's
know
2016.
Okay, I was like,
Why is this? I literally typed in 2020. Why are you giving me this? And now we're gonna go on to the next question while I look this up. Collegiate sports. We kind of already touched on this, but like, what don't people understand about the life of collegiate athletes? Like, what do they assume that's like incorrect kind of thing?
what do they assume that's kind of incorrect? Well, I think that a lot of people assume they're like, oh, it's a full-time job. Like, they hear that a lot. They don't have much free time, but it's one of those that once you come home from after practice, because we have, 4 to...
When you're in season, quote unquote, the season is defined by the NCAA, it's 20 hours like you're supposed to have. But that's without like individual work by yourself and...
But I mean, we have practice from 2 to 7 sometimes.
Yeah. Well, especially for decathlon because we have 10 events to do and there's 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have a day off mandatory. So there's 6 days to do 10 events.
Right.
So it's basically 2 a day.
And it's one of those you just kind of come home and you just want to lay down for a little while. But then you have homework to do, you have to study as well.
And for a lot of sports, there's... Or depending on where you are. Well, for all sports, but depending on what like your grades are, there's hours you have to spend in the academic centre that you have to get in every week. Track and field, thankfully, was the lowest. And if we got a 3.5? A 3.2? It was like, you had to get like a 3.2 or 3.5 and then you were exempt from doing them as long as you kept like those grades.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was wild. Met a bunch of great people in the academic center, though.
Oh no, carry on.
Um,
Fucking hell.
told you.
Yeah. If that's true, then ain't no
No,
one's going to be
why?
in that. No one from England's going to be there.
No one in the U.S.
Well,
is
Tim will be actually probably, but
a 10:05 for the 100.
that's See, that's the kind of that's slow. Like that's the. I'll look up now. What it was for England last like.
The 110 hurdles is pretty fast.
Or is it like 14.5?
13:3.
Yep, that's quick.
The women is at 11:15 for the 100.
See, that's quicker than normal. I don't think that's the Olympic one. I don't think that's the overall Olympic one because there will be people who run unless they've suddenly changed things for this year. Because there's always the people that they're going because they're the best in their country, but they're just going because the country wants to send them. They want representation at the Olympic Games.
Right.
Russia's not allowed to represent themselves, are they? Or did you not was it last year? Well, it must have been last year by now. They had a bunch of athletes banned again, like a whole new.
No, Winter Olympics.
No, they the high jump bronze medal, gold medal winner from
Fuck,
2012 got banned again. Well, not again, but he got banned.
Jeez.
Russia they had another 23 athletes found of doping or something.
How do they find out now?
Because the technology gets better and the road suppers get caught. No one gets found out at the time. It's always after for track and field. Because it's basically they're ahead of the time. Because it was USSR back in the day and China were the ones that were way ahead of everyone. And then 10 years later it comes out that they were all on drugs, but they just didn't know what to test for back then. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's wild.
You did not finish what did people not understand about the life of athletics?
You keep distracting me.
Yeah, I know. Carry on. How much time we put in, or how much little time we have really.
It's a physical and a mental drain.
So that's 20 hours of training. That doesn't include our recovery, which is at least, if you're not in rehab, an hour a day minimum.
And then season comes around, where we're traveling, and so I mean.
10.5 would be the top 39 in England last year.
Wow.
For the 100, so that's not quick.
10:05.
Oh, 10.05. Okay, that'd be the top two.
Yeah. And so I mean, some meets conference we left on Tuesday and came back Sunday.
Yeah, outdoor you have to, because you need outdoor. You probably need a day there to relax, get your body ready, do your warm up before. Stuff. Yeah, I hate the fact Americans say acclimate. We say acclimatize.
You're an idiot.
You're speaking our language.
You're in America.
And you're still speaking English. It literally comes up on Microsoft Office, American English. And that's an American company, and they still use the word English.
We don't speak American here.
You proudly say that to me every time we speak American.
That's only when I've been drinking a little bit.
Which we have.
And on 4th of July. Do enjoy 4th of July with you.
Yep, everyone here loves that with me. I interrupted again, what were you saying?
What people don't know about athletics.
Because everyone thinks we don't really do much. We're dumb people who just kind of go and play sport, don't really turn up to class and get put through. Which may be true for some people.
We have nerds to do our homework for us.
Which is true for some people, I know that.
Only happened a couple times.
Well, no, I have things I can't say. And I won't ever say. Not on recordings. Not from you. From other people. But yeah, basically everyone thinks we're dumb people who don't do anything and kind of go work out a couple of hours a day.
I don't know about dumb people.
The general American stereotype for college athletes is you're not intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
Because they generally are stereotyping basketball and football.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, the thing about it...
Colin's little smirk was hilarious.
In terms of actual numbers of who are college athletes, it's probably 50% of the male collegiate athletes are football or basketball. If not more.
Well, because for CSU,
we have 5 teams.
A third of the college athletes are football, a third is track, and a third is the rest of the teams.
But track's split. Ours is... So we're a sixth are men. Because the other sixth are women. I still hate regulations, but that's coming in. Next question.
Oh, God.
What do you wish was different about college athletics? And if you don't have something off the top of your head, I have several segments I've written out that we could talk about.
Well, I think that, especially in the track world, football gets a horrible rap. All the coaches hate the football team. Because they get all the money, they get all the cool stuff, they get all the stadiums, they get everything.
I don't know if that's... It's not just CSU. I don't know if that's specific schools. Because I guarantee...
I don't know, I'm just talking about CSU.
Well, no, yeah, but I don't guarantee it, but I bet people down in Alabama don't think, oh, stupid football team, they get everything when they're winning all the time. Like, can you really... Like, for that school, can you really say that? Like, you'd be stupid to say it.
Well, the thing is, it's all about money, too.
And they bring in more
Look
money.
how many people have ever bought a ticket to a track meet.
We don't sell.
Look how
Some
many
people
people
do.
show up to track meets. It's just parents and some friends
Alumni.
sometimes.
I rock up in the middle, walk
Yeah.
over to the high jump, say hi and leave.
We have pedestrians walking over and looking at meets. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why we don't have all the budgets and the bunch of
But
money.
that's true about athletics worldwide as well.
Mhm.
Which is, I mean, it's true about other sports. Like
Which makes sense. And
softball doesn't ticket, soccer doesn't ticket. The only people that do, well,
they can't.
volleyball, basketball, and football. For us.
Exactly.
I know other schools like Utah.
Which is why they get all the stuff. Which
U
makes
of
sense.
U has gymnastics that sell out in their arena and stuff. I know that 'cause my brother went there, and so like there are other sports in other schools that, like some schools have men's volleyball, which I wish we did. Men's volleyball is sick to watch, but yeah,
I like volleyball.
the argument about money for me is stupid, which I also hate.
Should track get more money from sponsors just because we're doing well? Yes, I believe that.
Should
Like, if
track
we're
get more
win-
scholarships because we're a bigger squad than almost every other team except football? Yes, not going to happen because that's an NCAA rule.
The Title IX, all that fun stuff. And
What I don't understand is
if you could take
why.
a few scholarships from other teams and add them to this just to make it a little bit more
Well,
fair,
that's what I don't
would
understand.
love-
So the NCAA sets the amount of scholarships for each sport rather than the school.
Which that doesn't make sense because different schools have different sports. Like you can look at Air Force, they have a fencing team.
Yeah. So, well, Boise now has esports as a varsity sport team.
That's a sport.
Utah does as well. U of U. They were the first Power 5 to offer money for scholarships.
For people who play video games.
Yes. That I didn't know it was like everything was set. I just thought the
wild.
school divvied up because we get 11.5 and women get 13.5. And like my brother told me, like women's soccer at college gets 14 or whatever, men's get like 11.5. So if you've got a 22-person squad, even if you get half the scholarship each, that's all you're going to get, and they don't do it like that. I didn't know it was set by the NCAA. I thought it was always schools, and they always gave like 80 to football, and so it's set by the NCAA, which is ridiculous. If we've got, so I don't know how many it's for basketball, say it's 12 for basketball, like 80 for football, 11 for track. I don't know if that includes cross-country for us or not, because they're technically separate sports. We'll say it does. I don't know. And say you got 4 for golf or something. So we've got 100. I think we've got so like 110 or something.
Okay.
We should be able to divvy those up how we want as a school. As long as there is 110 for men and 110 for women,
That would make sense.
I feel like we should be able to divvy them up how we want.
Yeah.
And yes, football will probably get more pulling power and get all the ones they want.
absolutely.
But like at this point, like, after winning several conference championships, Bedard could go up to like CSU like athletics and be like, "We're winning. We need to bring in more people, but to win more and get more recognition, we need more people, which means we need more scholarships. Give us a golf one who aren't doing anything, or give us one of the basketball ones because they don't need that many." Or I feel like it should work like that, and it doesn't.
That makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until my brother said it, and then I realized
That's
that's
wild.
it's set by NCAA and not us. That was I didn't realize that was the first point. Number of scholarships.
Nice.
Covered it. Number 2,
Uh-oh.
payment.
Payment.
Do you think any college athlete should get paid?
If they're bringing money into the school,
Zion.
yeah. Which is what, like the amount of publicity that Nike's getting for that, which is
And
not
they
great.
lost stock price.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, when his shoe
What?
ripped, they went down like 3% that night
That's wild.
because his shoe ripped, and everyone was watching.
What were you saying, Colin? That they
But those-
came in and made like custom measurements
yeah.
for him?
Oh yeah, those
They flew people in and had custom
But
measurements. And
the
custom
tickets
shoes.
for that game were being resold at like $5,000, like minimum, for the cheapest tickets or something. And it
I
has to
can't
be what?
imagine
It
what
has
the
to be like a
Duke UNC game's
20,000.
gonna be.
Has to be like 20,000, like tickets or whatever. So minimum at $5,000 each. Is anyone good at quick maths? 20.
Not just one math, but all of the maths.
Times, what did I say? Like 5,000.
No, it just sounds like you're
Oh,
shit up.
that's a lot. 10 million
What?
in ticket sales, if that was the average ticket price. That was the resale price, so obviously if you had season tickets and stuff, they probably weren't that much, and I doubt student tickets were that much and stuff.
Yeah.
But, so over the year, they definitely made more than 10 million. That was the potential for one game of 20,000. I don't know if the arena's 20,000 or not, but that's just throwing out a number that seems reasonable. Because I know we have a tiny basketball arena, but that's ridiculous. And it's basically because of him.
Well, you get stipends and everything too, and you get the CSU refund, and
He gets the CSU refund. He probably should get the CSU.
we get the CSU.
He should get the CSU refund. He should get everyone's refund from Duke.
Because like even the scholarship that I'm on, based on like the classes and whatever else the CSU billing is, I still got a refund this year too.
So I think you shouldn't be paid for performance or like just in general. If there is I don't know, this is the thing is, I don't know how the hell you'd monitor this and make sure they're getting paid enough.
Yeah.
But like, if there's an obvious increase in like ticket prices or ticket sales, or you've got certain ESPN games and getting paid for them so they can cover you, like, I don't know, it's like almost impossible to tell how much. But and then do you split between the team? Is it all based off of the one person like they're coming to see? It's a really hard thing to do, but I feel
It
like
sounds like more like a team thing.
yeah, I feel like there should be something
Yeah, Colin?
like added on. Yeah, Colin's got his hand up off to the side.
What if you made it like a stock-like system, where the value of Duke basketball has gone up blank percent in the last year because of Zion? Well, not just because of it.
And then like the overall profit, he gets a percentage of like whatever the increase was because of him or something.
Not just him, but like the team.
Yeah, like
they could do a profit sharing.
You
That
should
would-
do it over one person.
that would be easier to track. I feel like I don't know how you'd get the stock. I guess you would just kind of like say. Well, I guess you don't do it as a stock. You'd probably do it as like this was basketball's gross income last year. This is like their gross income this year, whatever, and then or like their actual income, if not gross,
Well,
like their
You'd probably look at the past five to 10
yeah,
years.
and you'd base
see
off
where the
if there's a
program's at.
10% increase, the team gets given 10% stipends or something.
Well, see, because there's gonna be a growth trend in no matter what, or there should
Yeah.
be. So you watch that growth trend, and then if
The
it's-
added
yeah,
percentage or
like,
whatever it
this
is.
year, Duke's probably at like make up a number.
But then
10
for the
extra
team,
percent.
it can't just go to the coaches, the players. There's also the
Well, it goes to the coaches at the moment.
the athletic department. There's the
Which
athletic
ours is out of
trainers.
money.
There's the marketing people.
I don't think you heard that. Mike definitely picked that. I was like, which ours is out of money? Our athletic department. I can't say anything again. I know too much. I know everything. It's horrible and I can't say anything.
Once the mics come off.
So yeah, I don't know how you do it, but I think something needs to change. Which I feel like is the consensus at the moment, just in the general population, is I don't know how they should get paid or what they should get paid, but something needs to change for these people. Because they're basic. I mean, he's got more attention than. He might have even got more attention than like NFL players this year, like certain people. Like, he's probably got more attention than the Cavaliers have all year. And yet, they're on multi-millions and earning a shit ton, and he's getting free tuition. Granted, he's going to be in the NBA Nation and making a bank, but
I don't know if he's gonna go to the NBA.
he will.
You think so?
All three of them, I think. Why would you say? I think he will go. I think the other guy, number 2. I don't know if he's actually number 2. Like the number 2 to him, because they had the 3 top freshmen. I don't know if the third one will go if they don't win. Because
I don't know these things.
I wouldn't be surprised if they all go because they just start making money and everything.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go if I had that
Do
opportunity.
you think the hour limit on like training should change in college athletics? Or change what they include? Because at the moment it includes meetings and lifting and...
I think that the in-season training is 20 hours.
Yes.
The out-of-season training is 8. And the off-season is you're not allowed to have contact with the coaches. Which I think is horrible.
I think it's bullshit.
I think it's like the 20-hour limit.
When's... I don't know if you know, when's quote-unquote out of season for football when they're not allowed contact with coaches? It's like, it can't be long. because everyone still lifts all year and everyone still goes and does.
Well, so does every sport does that.
Yeah, but track you kind of do, not like over the summer we
Track's
get
weird.
given summer workouts. We don't like, you don't have to go see people, like, 'cause we don't. That's actually our off season. Like, it's completely.
Well, track's weird because if you do an event that requires supervision because it's dangerous, so like hurdles,
Pole vault, throwing, high jump.
I think it's only hurdles.
That's the only one that requires. How the fuck does pole vault not? Pole vault definitely does, because Ian always had to be there when we pole vaulted.
The trainer does, but the coach is in off season.
They don't have. That's bullshit.
I don't.
Pole vault's the most dangerous. Well,
I just know
some
whenever
throws, but
we hurdled like 3 times a week because then we could have Bailey there to help us with our workouts too.
hurdled 3 times a week.
We did. We jumped over a couple hurdles.
If you're from the NCAA and listen to this, I don't know why you would be. Ignore that.
No, but there's definitely ways to
Do you think it should change, basically?
use the rules to our advantage. No, because I'm sure there's those coaches that are like that abuse that rule too.
I think the outer season should change. I think it should be sport dependent. Because 8 hours for us in the off season, if you're just sprints, 8 hours is fine.
Yeah.
If you're a multi,
Are you
8
thinking
hours.
event dependent?
Event in track and field, but sport wise, like if you're a
I
golfer, 8 hours is probably enough in the off season, because it's you just go and play, and like, you know, at that point you kind of know what you're doing when you have friends with you can tell you. For coaching specific event like diving,
Yeah.
you need someone to tell you there, like, open up later, open up earlier, you need to tuck hard, like. But if you're just swimming, it's a lot easier, I feel like, to just
No
do
time.
things by yourself. Like pitching, you probably need someone there to tell you. Hitting, maybe not, you can just like go and get used to get back to hitting. I feel like it's very specific, and it will never get that specific because the NCAA, and it would be way too hard to monitor.
Mhm.
That's which is why they just give everything across the board.
I
But
think it just gives like in case some coach is pushing an athlete too hard and forcing them
gives
to do
them a
something.
legal
Yeah.
thing to fight against.
I think that's the reason.
Well, because I guarantee no football team is doing just 20 hours a week in season.
No team is. It's impossible.
Oh, because 20 hours a week, that includes
The amount of practice,
games, meetings,
weights,
practice with lifting,
training room,
and travelling, I believe, is covered in it as well.
I don't think traveling is.
I thought travelling was for us, which is because we had
It's not
one.
possible. We have 8-hour bus rides.
Well, that was like, we had one where we were like, Babe was like, we can't do anything because we have meetings, like, I know competition does. Maybe it's not travelling then, but competition definitely counts. Like, football games alone,
Mhm.
from start to finish when you're there, 8 hours for the players? From when you get there in the morning, 7-8 hours?
I don't know.
Like, warm-ups, post, like, treatment and the game and everything, probably at least 7, let's say. Because the game sometimes lasts for 4. It's like getting there and everything. Like, there's no way they're only doing 13 hours in the week. And I think NCAA knows that, and no one cares because they just write it off as, we didn't have contact with the coach. It was just us. They were there, like, being there for safety and stuff. Which is ridiculous. Like, if you know it's happening, I know you can't stop it because everyone's doing it. But, like,
Yeah.
what's the point in the rule for them if you know it's being broken?
I think it just gives an out for somebody that feels like they're being overburdened, or it's those extreme circumstances that they're trying to protect.
It probably is.
Because we're still student athletes too. Definitely athletic students.
Yeah, I was waiting for the voice. What was the voice you used to do? Yeah, there we go. Don't know if the mic picked that up, but Colin did it.
What was it, Matt? The student athletes.
Yeah. GPA requirements.
Yes.
Do you think they should change? They've now gone up to 2.2, right? They were meant to when I was there.
I think that because what's the university sanctioned? Like, if you're
Still
allowed
2, I
to
think.
be in the university, then you should be able to be allowed to play a sport.
I'd guess that's still 2 for, like, every university.
But like, I know if you're a health and exercise science major, you need a 2.5 by the time you're. a
Well, like,
junior.
if you don't get
And if you
admitted...
don't have that, then you should be like.
If you don't get admitted into the College of Business, you have to have a 3 in all of the business core classes, I believe. Like, you have to get a B at least. But if you're directly admitted, you just have to pass. You just have to have a 2.0.
Right.
Because I would not have been in the college business if I wasn't directly admitted, because my calc was not a B. My calc was definitely a C, and I scraped that.
I don't know how I got into college of business.
Mine is easier.
I started a business minor.
Minor, I don't think you have to get a certain GPA for minors. Like, because a bunch of the, like, as all Americans do, a lot of you come in undeclared, because everyone loves doing that and then deciding what they were going to do, even though they know what they're going to go do, basically. But if you're not accepted, like, pre-accepted in the college business, like, so many people, like, I need to get a B in this, and I don't know how. I was like, I've never been told that. So I asked my advisor, like, yeah, no, you don't need it. I was like, sweet, see ya, see it is.
I came into college knowing what I was going to do.
I came in,
And
knew what
then
I was
it
going to do.
changed a couple months ago.
But now it's too late, and you don't want to. You have no eligibility left, so you can't stay for another 3 years.
I'm alright with that.
I think most people are. A lot of people don't do any job related to their degree. A lot of people come out with a lot of people come out with a degree.
Kinda is.
Yeah, but yours is a less general degree, but a lot of people who come up with communications or liberal arts or psychology, like you could go into anything.
History.
That I still don't understand that one. I have no idea why I remember that one, so we're gonna skip it.
What was it?
I wrote help available to college athletes. I don't know what I meant. Sorry. I think I meant like tutoring and stuff, like because we have free tutoring and
Yeah, that was cool.
the like free food, like
It's really weird because everything has to be offered to all the students as well or something.
it's basically the cover, isn't it?
I don't know.
Would be my guess, but I don't really know. I don't really think there's a lot of conversation. I read that earlier. The last one about collegiate sports. Then we get into the fun stuff.
Uh-oh.
Well, there's not really that much left. Should all 4 years compete against each other in all sports?
What?
Do you think, like, if there's kind of like high school where there's JV and like varsity, do you think it should be split in college sports because of like physicality and experience and age, or do you think it should always be that
No. Because there's
because of red shirts?
No, because there are freshmen that can compete with seniors, and there's seniors that
That's true for high school though, and they still do it.
and they move up to varsity.
Yeah. Do you think there should be an option for people to like get actual practice against weaker people?
No, because I think that it's
softening us
it's
up for
the
the real
school's
world.
team. Like high school's a lot of camaraderie, and we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna make sure everybody has a good time. And
No, in your friend group it wasn't. This might have been what your school said, it's not what you said.
my high school experience is a little different.
Well, I love the fact that out of the first 6 podcasts, 4 people have been from like your friend group.
Matt, Colin,
You,
me.
Caroline, kind of
Caroline.
friend group.
Um,
Well, and then Shannon Lanza, who was also fossil.
she's still a friend too.
Yeah. Oh, and she was the other one. She was one of the people in the Boulder podcast.
Shannon or Caroline?
Shannon.
What were we talking about?
Should all 4 years compete against each other?
Oh, yeah, they should. Because freshmen are... I like the one team aspect.
I agree
If
with
you're
that.
good enough, you make it. If you aren't, you don't.
I agree with that.
You're going to college.
Especially as, well, I guess I know it'd be almost impossible to do because of red shirts and scholarships. Like, did then each team get a different scholarship? Like, it was just a thought. It was like, because the physicality and like years and experience, like, because you can change a hell of a lot in. I mean, there's been 7th year seniors and like stuff that have played. Like, they are 28 years old and
Oh, you
they're
go to,
playing
like,
against 18-year-olds.
The Mormon guys that go on mission for 2 years.
The
and
guy
come
who
back.
plays for the Saints. The guy who played everywhere. He played tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, fullback.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, him, Taysom Hill. He played like everywhere, and he went to BYU, got injured, played out, then went on a mission, then did something else, and then went to the NFL. Like, he's like a rookie in the NFL, but he's 29 or something. It's just like, what? I think there was at least a 6th year senior, I'm pretty sure, who played for San Diego or something for volleyball like 2 years ago. and she was like their outside hitter, and it's just like this
wouldn't know.
26-year-old woman hitting against these 18-year-old block. It's just like, even if they're not physically better, mentally they've been through a lot more, and experience-wise counts for a lot more than people think.
But you
sports.
can't take that away from them either, because they've been training and working
No.
hard as well.
But it's like, it's rare, because the best do go early because they want to start making money, but it happens,
Oh yeah.
at least. But no, we're going to a new segment, which actually I added after, since you've done the podcast, Colin.
Oh,
But we're going on to stories of the week. I have 3 news stories. Do you want to pick a number, or do you want me to go down the list?
down the list.
The admissions scandal.
The what?
The admissions scandal.
Oh, was that some lady like paid some
It's
school?
not just one. It's like a bunch of famous, either actors, just rich politicians. I don't know if there's politicians there, but like sports people. Like they basically paid to get their kids into better schools or like Ivy League schools.
Jeez.
And now that like a bunch of them are like dropping out and stuff, and everyone's getting like found out, and like people like they paid an unbelievable amount of it.
That's pretty funny.
So you not read that much into it?
Nah. I saw a couple pictures on Twitter, and it's like, woman pays USC $500,000.
Oh no, yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like it's ridiculous. And obviously, then they get accepted in like over other people and like ahead of them and count them then out of like their possible education and stuff.
Yeah, that's messed up.
No, it's a whole thing. It's a wordy one, so I don't really want to get into it. But it's
What's the other two?
oh, what are the other 2? Number 2, the bomb cyclone.
I'd have worked
The
during that.
bomb ass cyclone. It didn't just hit us. There were supposedly, I think it said like 5 million people like. Oh no, I think it was more than that. I think it was like 50 million people like in the way of it, like in total. Obviously, there's only like 5 million people in Colorado, but it kind of, I don't know where it started, but it was the supposed.
People aren't there like 9 or 10 in Denver?
There's 800,000 in Denver.
That's it?
Yeah, there's more people in London than there is in Colorado.
There's what?
More people in London than there is in Colorado.
And Wyoming.
Yeah.
Well, Wyoming's 500,000
I think-
total.
Actually, I think it's like Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska.
Oh, altogether, London might be bigger than yeah.
I think it's like Colorado and the surrounding states.
Pretty much.
I don't know these things.
But no, yeah.
It's
So
wild.
like, how bad it was hyped up to be, and I know we didn't get the worst of it. Like
No.
we barely got hit in Fort Collins, compared
They
to.
had a couple. The ice was horrible.
Well, that's the thing. So I was like, oh, is it maybe that bad? It's raining for the first 12 hours, because there were drifts that were like a foot deep here, but it was so windy that the roads and paths were like 2 inches, and the bottom inch was ice. And it wasn't even really frozen ice. It was still kind of wet, so you could easily shovel it, because I did our driveway. And you could just shovel it out of the way. Like, it wasn't frozen to the ground yet. I know we didn't get the worst, but, like, the fact that we still cancelled school the day before, and, like, Fuzzy shut at 2.
Wilbur's was open.
Fuzzy shut at 2. It stopped being windy and snowy here at 4.
Yeah.
And they shut at 2 and gave everyone the nod. I mean, no one was going out at that point. Everyone had kind of stayed in from the warning, and
No, people
it
came
was really windy beginning, and it was probably horrible to drive in. And when there was drifts and people got stuck and stuff, and there's the crash on I-25 and stuff. But for how bad it was hyped up to be,
Semis getting knocked over on I-25 and stuff. That's
wasn't it like
wild.
100-car crash or something?
I don't know.
I think was like that. Why are you driving in it? I mean, I understand lorries because it's kind of your job, and they probably told you to get here by this time, so you probably have to go. But
That would be a good reason.
like everyone else, if it's not going to be that bad, you know it, but you've been given the day off work, like why would you go do
All the
anything?
flights were canceled too.
Yeah, because everyone who went to the Vegas for the Mountain West tournament, they took the earlier flight at like 6
Oh wow.
rather than 8 because all the flights had been cancelled. Like, I don't think it was as bad as people were expecting here, but I would rather it that way
Yes.
than not cancelling and then having 10,000 people stranded on campus and a bunch of people, like loads of people trying to drive home or something.
I'm definitely pumped that they canceled school.
Yeah, I think. Oh, so I wonder how many tests got cancelled because of that, like automatically. Not like the teacher's call, but because the school was shut and you legally weren't allowed to be there. Like
I
I
had a
don't.
great time Tuesday night.
Well, that was my brother and sister got because they weren't allowed on campus the next day because school was closed. And they were like, "Huh? What do we do now?" I don't have to get up in the morning. It's a Tuesday. I don't know what to do.
What's the third thing?
The Boeing plane crash.
Boeing had a plane crash?
So the 737 Max.
Ah, yes, that plane. No,
It's
I don't
one
know.
of their. It's like one of their newest models and like the quickest selling ever one. And it's like the second crash in 6 months, I think, of like this
That's
same
not good.
plane type. And basically, everyone across the world halted flights from that like specific
Oh, was
aircraft.
this the thing where like,
Except-
the plane was caught on fire and then had to land or something?
I don't know if I
What
can
I'm
find it.
talking
I don't know, but this one was from Ethiopian Airlines. Was this crash? Which makes it sound dodgy because it's Ethiopian Airlines, but it's still like the past money and everything. Basically, everyone else in the world halted flights except the US, and then like the day later, the US were like, "Yeah, okay, we should probably halt these flights too," like because they were the last country to like stop flying this like fleet. But it's 2 crashes in 6 months, which for airplanes,
It's a lot.
yeah, it's not good.
No.
We've had a lot of disappearing planes in the last year, but at least they disappeared.
You still waiting for the Malaysian one
I actually don't know.
to show up?
Wasn't there 2 Malaysian ones that disappeared though? There was at least one. And then there was the one that got shot down by Russia. Or that was Russian or got shot down by Ukraine. One of the 2.
Hey, it was definitely Russia. It was in Ukraine. Ukraine is perfect, and don't make fun of them.
Nick is part Ukrainian, if you couldn't tell from that. But no, they're the end of the news stories. So we're going into quickfire questions to end it.
To what?
Quickfire questions.
Do I have to quick fire answer as well?
You can take as long as you want to explaining them, but don't take long to think of your answer.
Alright. I don't have many thoughts on this.
It's a great question. What's the most ridiculous thing you spend money on?
Alcohol.
Fair enough. Favorite TV show at the moment?
The Order. You haven't seen that yet?
No.
Shit's dope.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh.
And so like the first season just came out, and it's like this dude goes to college because he knows his dad that killed his mom.
Oh wait, I think I
is a part of
saw
this college.
I saw it come up and I
And
didn't
then
click on it.
He gets like invited to a secret order that he tried to get
Yeah.
to, and his dad ended up being like part of it, and they're magicians and weird
Yeah,
shit
no, I
happens.
did see the advert on that. I haven't started watching it though.
Well, the thing I liked about it so much was that the main character is like this super athlete, super smart guy who's popular and well spoken. Where a lot
So
of
not you.
a lot of main actors and main characters are these kind of like weird
Offside,
outcast
yeah.
guys.
So they actually chose the popular one for once.
Yeah.
What was the biggest letdown of last year?
Not going to nationals or USA's. Fuck, I was so pissed. I got 17th out of 16 people.
There's an explanation for that. How many books did you read last year? You can guess. Don't have to count.
3
What would be your talent in a pageant?
in a pageant swimsuit.
That's not a talent. That's just a round.
Oh. I can't sing, can't dance, and I can't play an instrument.
Magic tricks, whistling,
Nah,
acrobatics, juggling.
I can run fast sometimes.
You just run off stage.
I just take a long jump pit out there or something.
And land on Okay.
Not jump rope. I can't jump rope.
Where did that come from?
Well, we've been doing a lot of jump rope at practice, and everybody's like super good at it, and then I'm over here like messing up.
I
the
was
entire
never
time
good,
that-
but I never really spent much time doing it. So we'll see.
Um,
What would be your karaoke song?
American Pie by Don McLean.
That's what you would sing at karaoke.
Yeah.
And then last one, how did we meet?
Track. Then we lived together.
More specific than track.
Dorm.
I know when it was. Wasn't dorms.
Wasn't dorms?
Nope.
Was it orientation?
Yes. New athlete orientation. When we
Oh,
had to
I
go
was
through and
walking
sit
around
with
with
that
Nick.
feminism guy.
Oh shit! I remember him.
Well, no, because we all sat in.
Io too.
We sat in from McGraw. We sat in like McGraw Auditorium first, and it
Dude
was like
hated us.
you guys sat behind me like, what are you doing? I was like, decathlon. You're like, You were like, oh, sweet, so am I. What do I do? I was just like, oh, God. Because I was a complete walk-on, didn't live in the same dorm as everyone.
I remember that.
That
I
was-
remember going to some guy
I...
in Io and I sat next to
Everyone in
each
my group hated me. Because he was like, what do I was like, dance. He was like, dance? I was like, dance. And then someone was like, dance. And I was just like, yeah, that one. Because they couldn't understand me. He just, dance? I was like, yes, dance.
He put up on the dry erase board is like men's section and women's section. It's like, what are all the bad names for men and women? And we're like,
Slut.
what?
Skank. Sket. No one in America knows what that means. Love a good sket. Don't. That's a horrible... I'm not saying that.
Io leaned over to me. He's like, they hoes, bro.
That's-
And I died laughing. I'm like,
no one knows that. Maybe we should get... Oh.
He came up and
I
he
want
was like,
Io on a podcast now because it would be hilarious.
the dude was like, what'd you say? I'm like, nothing. I didn't say anything. He said it. And
I'm not repeating her.
he was too busy laughing. He's like, I know you heard what he said. That's why you're laughing. I'm like, I don't want to plagiarize.
Such a smart ass. As always, if you enjoy the podcast, please share it if you want. If you know someone or want to come on the podcast or know someone who has a good story, let me know. And otherwise, this is the end.